Look, it's January and everyone's going to start thinking about whether they should buy or sell in the upcoming spring market. Let me tell you what I think about this market right now. What's up, everybody? I'm Rob Schou. I'm a realtor here in Southern Maryland. My goal is to make it easier for you to move to or within Southern Maryland with all this content and information to help you make informed decisions. If that sounds like something you're going to do, use that contact information below. Call me, text me, and I'd be happy to help you. You can also email me using the email address below as well. If you're looking to enter the market starting in the spring or even February or March, let me tell you what I think this market's going to be like. But to really understand what this market's going to be like, we got to go back to what the market's been the last few years. And I think everybody knows that the last few years have been dominated by sellers. If you were a seller in this real estate market, if you had a home to sell, you were the one that was demanding, that were setting the price, and really the one that got to dictate everything in the deal. That was great for one side of that transaction. A lot of people that were buyers had a ton of frustration. I can't even tell you how many buyers I had that had to go through multiple, and I mean multiple as in 10 to 15 homes, and put offers on those 10 to 15 homes over asking price, and then finally get a home. It is a stressful process for everyone involved except the sellers. So that's what it was like before, and let me tell you what it's going to be like now. I think it's going to be a more balanced market, but let me tell you first why it even matters if it's a buyer or seller market. Now, it matters because it really defines who has the leverage in the situation. When it's a seller's market, the buyers have no leverage at all and basically have to go along with what the sellers want to do. When it's a buyer's market, sellers have less leverage, but the one thing about that is, like, a buyer can say, I'll only buy your property for this, and the seller can just say no and walk away, even in a buyer's market. So you just don't have a commodity. Maybe you have a commodity that people don't want and you decide to keep it. I think a balanced market is probably the best market for everybody involved, just because I feel like the best deals can be made where everyone can feel like they're walking away whole from that. And that's a good thing. That's the whole point of real estate. That's the whole point of doing this, is making sure everyone walks away feeling like they were part of a transaction that made them whole. So if you're asking me, or if you're seeing me out at a party, or you're asking me in my professional opinion, what do I think? I think it's going to be neither. I don't think it's going to be a buyer's market. I don't think it's going to be a seller's market. I think it's going to be a balanced market. So one of the biggest things that I've noticed in my local market, our time that houses are sitting on the market is steadily increasing. And so that means that these homes are sitting longer, which means there's going to be more inventory on the market for longer periods of time. So there's going to be more supply. And I think that's going to lead to sellers competing against each other for buyers. Now, couple that with the fact that there's less buyers. I can tell you that anecdotally, I'm hearing from less people wanting to buy, but there's tons of different data out there from Redfin and other places that are showing that buyers are just not as interested. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll track the different Google searches, and you can see here that they're definitely down compared to other times. But that being said, there's still buyers out there. And if you're a buyer, you can still find homes at decent prices. And if you're a seller, if you price it well, if you price it at 2023 prices and you don't price it at 2021 prices, like a lot of buyers or a lot of sellers are still going to do, you're going to set yourself apart from other sellers, and it's not going to be too hard of a process to get you under contract and get you moved. So have realistic expectations when you go out there, sellers selling your home, that you're not going to get the prices from 2021. It's just not going to happen because there's not as many buyers. And buyers, when you go out there, set realistic expectations. This is not a housing crash like 2008. There's not a glut of houses out on the market like there was in 2008 that caused that crash. It's a balanced market where a buyer still has to come in with a reasonable offer. So if you're a buyer going, well, everything's crashing now, I'm going to throw out the most ridiculous offers and be upset if they don't get accepted because my realtor didn't do what they were supposed to do, pump the brakes and understand that, yes, you're going to be able to get a better deal, but it's not like a lot of sellers are in distress and need to sell. And so finally, if I could give two pieces of advice, one for a buyer, one for a seller, this is what it would be. Sellers, work with a realtor who knows your area, knows your market, knows your numbers, and can price that home as best as they possibly can. So if they're coming in with comps from 2021 when the housing market was the highest, I know it's tempting to say, well, I can't wait to get that much money and, this is going to be awesome, but really be skeptical and understand that those 2021 prices, even if they're comps exactly the same in the exact same neighborhood, are not going to fly. For most parts in most markets in Southern Maryland, there has been a price kind of pause or even drops in some of the major areas, and prices that we are seeing in 2021 are not going to be the same prices that we're going to be seeing in 2023. So really understand when you're talking to your realtor, understand where they're getting the comparable homes from, where they're getting, their numbers from, so you can really understand if that realtor has the knowledge of the market that you're going to need to sell your home quickly. Look, and buyers, the biggest thing I want you to understand, there's a few things you need to do, but still some of the most important stuff is set realistic expectations. Understand that you're not going to get the deal of the century most likely, but you are going to get a better deal than what you were before. And interest rates are going to be what interest rates are going to be. So go in there knowing what interest rates are. Go in there knowing that you're not going to get 2008 deals, but you're going to get you're going to have less competition on houses compared to 21 and 22. And also, buyers, you need to still do these three things. Go ahead, make sure you get a pre-approval. Try to make it so your offers are non-contingent. Still, even though there's not going to be multiple offers in as many situations, there still might be multiple offers on a house that is really desirable, and it's still a grind to buy a house. So make sure you partner up with someone that can help you kind of deal with that mental grind, walk you through that process, and that you're feeling comfortable with that when the going gets tough, they're not just going to stop answering your calls or answering your emails. They're going to help you work through that, even if it becomes super frustrating. All right, so hopefully this information about the housing market was helpful. If you have any questions about moving to Southern Maryland or need some help about selling your home in Southern Maryland, use that contact information below. Call me, text me, and I'll be happy to help you. Also, don't forget, click the subscribe button, click the bell, so you're notified every single time I put out new content. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you on the next one.